afternoon and welcome to the news at 1. My name is Omotayo Alo. The All Progressive Governors Forum says the bad state of the nation's economy is responsible for the non-payment of salaries across the state in recent times. They want the government to make bailout funds available for the states while carrying out complete overhauling of the system to block leakages. Leader of the forum, Roches Okorocha, says the fallout in global oil price and the mismanagement of funds from subsidy are some of the factors responsible for the financial crash.
And secondly, the issue of oil theft. But there are other issues like the crude swap, the gas revenue, which has never reflected on any of the Federation account, and the subsidy mismanagement, which is known to everyone. For instance, only a few years ago, the subsidy amount was about 240 billion, 200 billion, and today is about 1.4 trillion. So what has really changed? So we are really concerned about some of this obvious looting of our nation's treasury.
Youth for Change Nigeria, an umbrella group of Nigerian youth, has said President Muhammad Buhari is the leader of Nigeria, not just of the All Progressives Congress. Hence, it will be wrong to cloak him in a partisan toga. In a statement issued in Lagos on Tuesday, the organization's national leader, Mr. Shehu Bobade, said the moment Buhari was sworn in as president on May 29th, he became the leader of all Nigerians, irrespective of their party affiliations. A coalition of civil society groups has described as false the report of Amnesty International indicating notable officers of the Nigerian Armed Forces for war crimes in the fight against Boko Haram. The group stated that the report of Amnesty International is not a true reflection of the current war against Boko Haram. It's maintained that the investigation carried out by the group is at variance with the Amnesty International report, which is capable of demoralizing troops on the front line. President of the group, Etuk Basi, in a CoreTV said to the defense headquarters in Abuja, pledged to submit its findings over the Amnesty report to the International Criminal Court. Pius Samuel has more.
For some time now, Amnesty International has come up with different reports of war crimes against Nigerian military since the fight against Boko Haram started. But the recent report by the right group is still raising lots of questions. Now, the coalition of civil society groups says Amnesty International report indicting senior military officers is not a true reflection in the fight against Boko Haram.
We reject in totality the report of the Amnesty International indicting noble officers of the Nigerian Armed Forces for war crime in the fight against Boko Haram in the Northeast between March 2011 and 2014. This report has been found to be lopsided, lacking in basic facts, and bereft of fundamental understanding of the war against insurgency has been fought and almost won in Nigeria.
The group is also concerned over the neglect of Nigeria by other countries in the fight against terrorism. They say Nigeria has been left alone to fight the global menace of terrorism, and the country has prosecuted the war judiciously. The right group argued that the military has shown professionalism in the discharge of their duties, despite being denied the purchase of modern weapons that could aid effective prosecution of the war against Boko Haram.
Our investigation and independent assessment of the war on terror in Nigeria, however, it is at sharp variance with the report of the Amnesty International, as the activities of the Nigerian military based on our investigation has helped to save thousands of lives, taking back lost territories, restore hope to a once hopeless people who have been held-bound hitherto by the draconian clutches of this dreaded set called Boko Haram.
Responding shortly after, the Chief of Defense Staff, Alex Bade, admitted that there may be pockets of errors from the military operations in the Northeast, which he described as normal in a war situation and should not be adjudged as crime against humanity. He maintained that no amount of distraction would deter the military from ensuring the total rescue of the Northeast from terrorists.
One thing the armed forces is doing is that we are not deterred by criticisms. in war, nothing is equal. And people behave differently. They say under pressure, you behave differently. And war, I think, is the worst form of pressure that a normal human being can ever face. So if there are 1 or 2 infractions out there at the theater of war, it is normal. It happens to every army. The most developed armies have committed worse crimes.
For now, President Buhari has ordered for a full investigation into the reports of Amnesty International. Paris Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
The Nigerian Union in South Africa on Tuesday reported new xenophobic attacks against Nigerians and all the foreigners in Setmok and Namakwa municipality, Northern Cape province of South Africa. The president of the union, Ikechukwu Ayene, said in Pretoria, South Africa, that the Northern Cape Province chapter chairman of the union reported the incident to its national secretariat. The report indicated that South Africans attacked Nigerians. He said 2 cars belonging to Nigerians have been reportedly burnt, and they have been going from house to house, looting and destroying their property. Ayene, who said that there were 20 Nigerians living in the affected community, added that none had been reported dead in the incident. He added that 6 Nigerians have taken refuge with their families in nearby Springbok community, and they do not know the whereabouts of the other Nigerians, as the incident has been reported to the Nigerian consulate in South Africa. Uche Ajugulu, I beg your pardon, Okeke, as the incident has been confirmed by the ambassador while investigations are on. Senate President Bukola Saraki says the 8th Assembly will set priority in identifying and considering bills for early passage into law. He made the commitment when a delegation of civil society groups visited him in his office at the National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Saraki further stated that efforts will be made to consolidate on the gains recorded by the 7th Assembly.
Very importantly, Mr. President, we know that the Constitution was amended by this National Assembly, and the amendments that were made were the most far-reaching amendments of any amendment to a live document, the Nigerian Constitution. These far-reaching amendments covered making justiciable several of the social and economic rights contained in the present Constitution, but also several other issues that are really very important. And we thought it was the most progressive amendment to the Constitution that was made.
But our plan is very soon to meet as senators and have a legislative agenda that will identify what we call priority bills and find a way of fast-tracking the priority bills. I mean, I was one of those. I was on the program that defended some of the actions of the 7th Assembly, in as much as it might not have looked tiny, but I think we should all appreciate why we're here. At the end of the day, we're here to ensure that laws that are passed are important. And I think that if we identify these bills early enough, then we can prioritize them and ensure that in a very short period of time, the 2 chambers will pass them. And I think that we would have that agenda. We'll fix the time where we'll sit down, senators, and look at laws that, whatever side of the divide you are, they're important to the people of our great country.
The senator representing Ondo North Senatorial District, Robert Borough-Fils, on Tuesday clarified that the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, did not impose Senator Ahmed Lawan and Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila as consensus candidates of the party for the National Assembly leadership positions. Borough-Fils, in an interview with journalists in Abuja on Tuesday, argued that Tinubu had preferred Senator George Akume and Gbajabiamila to be presented as the party's choice for the post of Senate President and Speaker of the House of Representatives, respectively. He said the argument of Tinubu was both that Akume and Gbajabiamila, being minority leaders in the 7th Senate and House of Representatives, should automatically assume the leadership of both chambers as Senate President and Speaker, respectively. There was a general outcry among some federal lawmakers over the roles played by Tinubu towards the inauguration of the 8th National Assembly, when the election into the office of the Senate President, as Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, and his deputy were conducted. The People's Democratic Party is cautioned former Kano State Governor Senator Rabiu Kwakwanso against provocative utterances which it says are capable of destabilizing the National Assembly and rubbishing the prevailing political tranquility in the country. PDP National Publicity Secretary Chief Olisa Metu, in a statement in Abuja on Tuesday, said the party was particularly shocked by what he described as the 8th statement from Kwakwanso, wherein he used offensive language against the PDP and its members in the National Assembly. The former governor has faulted the election of Senator Ike Ekweremadu as the Deputy Senate President when his party, the PDP, is a minority in the Senate. While condemning this, Kwakwanso warned that the action was capable of affecting the regime of President Muhammad Buhari. Metu, in his statement, however, said his party was taken aback by the venom and bitterness in the statement, especially coming from a former governor and elected senator, a highly respected former member of the PDP, who also benefited hugely from the party as minister and two-time state governor. The Rivers State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has challenged the state governor, Nyesom Wike, to declare his assets. The state APC explained that such step was necessary in keeping with the requirement of office of the governor and in line with the mantra of the President Muhammad Buhari-led federal government to promote transparency and accountability. State chairman of the party, Davis Ikanya, said in a statement issued in Port Harcourt on Tuesday that the people of the state were interested in knowing his financial status. Describing Wike as a caretaker governor, Ikanya said, in line with the code of conduct for elected public offices in Nigeria, we wish to advise Chief Wike to hasten to declare his assets. The Imo State House of Assembly has recently elected its principal officers to make the 8th Third Assembly. Newly elected members include Lugat Osuji as Majority Leader, Chinedu Ofo as Deputy Majority Leader, Obina Egu as Minority Leader, Emmanuel Orie, Deputy Minority Leader, Ikechukwu Amuka, Chief Whip, Uche Ogunke, Chief Whip, Joy Mbakwe, Minority Whip, and Bruno Uka as Deputy Minority Whip. The state lawmakers promised to churn out people-oriented laws while promising residents a blissful state under their jurisdiction. We take a break now, and when we come back, we'll be back with more stories. Do well to stay tuned.
Afghan have naked, that's a sign of protest, saying that things are not good.
Women share the most amazing thoughts.
When it's close to the time, our people will protest
on national issues.
That was their own point.
That was an accident. That is different.
And they do it.
Politics is about being a servant.
Passionately.
Without a woman, there will be no success at all.
Sharing the adorable word of women.
There are some women who have what it takes.
In politics.
Margaret Thatcher, Iron Lady. When she's too soft, she's too soft.
Only on CoreTV News.
Welcome back. For more news and information, visit our social media platform, facebook.com/CoreTV News, and our Twitter at CoreTV News NG. And our YouTube channel is youtube.com/CoreTV News. The Police High Command has put an embargo on all forms of leave for its officers and men in Zone 6 Command, comprising Rivers, Ebonyi, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River states. A statement signed by the Post Public Relations Officer, Emmanuel Ojukwu, said the IGP, Solomon Arazi, made the order to stem the increasing trend of kidnapping and violent crimes there. The statement further noted that the IGP is concerned that despite several directives on anti-crime activities, the situation there has not abated, thus leading to the stern warning to the police. The Police High Command, however, reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring that peace prevails and people go about their lawful businesses in all parts of the country. They enjoined the public to report suspicious persons and criminal elements at the nearest police station for prompt action. The trial within trial of Aminu Oguche, the alleged mastermind of the 2014 Yanya Best terminal bombing, and 5 others continue on Tuesday at the Federal High Court, Abuja. This follows an order of the court to conduct another trial to determine if the allegation, a first confessional statement against the accused person, is true. A prosecution witness from the State Security Service informed the court that the first and third accused persons voluntarily made their statements in relation to the bombing. After admitting the witness statement, Justice Mohammed adjourned to July 17 for continuation of cross-examination of the prosecution witness.
Determine the voluntariness or otherwise of the alleged confessional statements. The PW1 has given his evidence. He has concluded his evidence today, and the Honorable Court adjourned the matter for cross-examination of that PW1 tomorrow. So that was what happened today.
Kwara State Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has decorated newly promoted officers, the first of its kind in the state. Rashid has more in this report presented from our studios. We'll bring you details of that in our subsequent bulletin. The priest of St. Benedict Catholic Church, Ido Ekiti, Reverend Father Emmanuel Akingbade, has regained his freedom. The priest was released early hours of Wednesday. The Catholic diocese, however, denies paying ransom. Rashid has more.
That is the mood when the news of the release of Reverend Father Emmanuel Akingbade filtered into town. The father, kidnapped on the 9th of June, was released and allegedly found in Isho Ekiti. The Catholic Bishop of Ekiti Diocese, Bishop Felix Ajakaye, speaks.
They had been speaking with me, the abductors. They even allowed me to speak with Father. But for security reasons, I did that I shouldn't tell the public, so that we will be able to reach an agreement. In fact, they were requesting for 200 million naira. And I had to tell them the Catholic Church is a non-profit church, and that the Catholic Church doesn't have money, and not only that, the Catholic Church doesn't pay ransom. But we were still negotiating and praying. They asked me, okay, how much we could afford. I said, even 1 kobo, we couldn't. They still spoke with me yesterday night, and I told them. They began to speak in Yoruba now, because they said they came from Delta.
Though Father Emmanuel was shielded from journalists, the Catholic diocese denies paying ransom or being rescued by local hunters as peddled in some quarters.
Please, don't listen to that. And that is why you saw me that I told some journalists to leave. A friend in need is a friend indeed. In fact, what happened is a parable.
The Ekiti State Police Commissioner, Itop John James, via phone chat, confirms the release and arrest of 3 suspects in Delta State.
I'm on tour. I had to break the tour to go and see the released Reverend Father and the Bishop. But the same members of the gang that have been arrested, 3 of them at Delta State. They have a syndicate spread out in many states. There's an ongoing operation with the police and the DSS. So it's a joint operation going on, and we are not bringing out a lot of details, but we can tell you that various principal members of the gang have been arrested.
With the kidnap and release of Reverend Father Emmanuel Akingbade, Ekiti residents will either heave a sigh of relief or sleep with one eye closed, not knowing when next kidnappers will strike. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
The Imo State Police Command has paraded no fewer than 25 students who converged at the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, the Imo State capital, on Monday. The students who came from different tertiary institutions in Nigeria assembled at Futo to be initiated into court activities, but were apprehended by the police overnight.
This group you see here, we arrested yesterday, or precisely early this morning, based on a tip-off by concerned citizens who saw when they were gathering in a bush around the Futo area. As a follow-up, operatives were detailed to the area, and in the process, these 25 suspects you see here were arrested. They belong to the Black Axe Cult group. They are from within and outside the state. Some of them come from Abia, Imo, and other states. They were said to be converging for their national conference as well as the initiation ceremony before the police would conduct.
Officials of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have arrested a trader and an apparatus for ingesting 132 wraps of cocaine weighing 2.7 kg. The suspects were intercepted at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano, while returning from Kenya. The both tested positive for drug ingestion during inward screening of passengers at an Ethiopian airline flight. NDLEA commander at the Kano airport, Mr. Ambrose Umuru, gave the names of the suspect as Otaka Patrick Kalu, 48 years old, trader who ingested 72 wraps of cocaine weighing 1.450 kg, while David Ikechukwu, 32-year-old apprentice at Alaba Market, ingested 60 wraps of cocaine weighing 1.250 kg. The suspects were nabbed on the way from Kenya. Interim investigation revealed that they were recruited by one source and were promised the sum of $5,000 each. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on Tuesday grilled a former governor of Ebonyi State, Martin Eliche. Eliche, who arrived at the Wuse Abuja office in the commission at 10 a.m. along with some former cabinet members, was accused of misappropriating public funds while in office. The former governor, who left office on May 29 after his second term, could not be quizzed while in office by the commission because he had constitutional immunity against persecution. The anti-graft agency, on January 29, 2015, questioned the former governor's son, Nana, on allegations of money laundering and embezzlement. The FCC spokesman, Wilson Uwajaren, confirmed that Elechi was being interrogated following allegations of misappropriation of public funds, but attempts to ascertain whether the former governor will be detained overnight was not successful, as several calls made to Uwajaren's telephone line at 6:45 p.m. failed to connect. We take another break now, and when we come back, we'll take some stories outside Nigeria. Do well to stay tuned.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
President Vladimir Putin says Russia will update its nuclear arsenal with more than 40 intercontinental ballistic missiles in 2015. While speaking at an arms fair, Mr. Putin said the weapons would be able to overcome even systems. NATO and Western leaders accused Russia of sending soldiers and heavy weapons, including tanks and missiles, to the pro-Russian separatists in eastern Ukraine, while Russia had repeatedly denied this, insisting that any Russian fighting there are volunteers, and the 40 nuclear missiles that Mr. Putin referred to on Tuesday are not additional missiles, but replacement for old ones, says the BBC Sahara Rainsford in Moscow. It comes after the U.S. proposed increasing its military presence in NATO states in Eastern Europe, with tensions high over Russia's role in the conflict in eastern Ukraine. Meanwhile, Russian officials have warned that Moscow will respond if the U.S. carries out its plan to store heavy military equipment in Eastern Europe, including in the ballistic states that were once part of the Soviet Union. And that's a wrap on the News at 1. Do also join us on subsequent bulletins. My name remains Omotayo Alo. Bye for now.